Will he make a return?
That should be one of the prediction things. Is guy gonna be in there?
I'm probably going to.
It's gotta be in there.
And then probably like Will's gonna be like, what?
Answer the question, Will.
Simple question.
Hello and welcome to episode 128 of the Nerds at Large Gaming Podcast. I have to keep that in, Jeff. I'm one of your hosts, Darby Hallman.
I'm Jeff Mayo.
Jeffrey, how are we doing today?
Good. Tired.
You tired, boy?
Our boys and girls.
Yeah. Well, only one of these is a boy we actually have.
Yeah.
And he has witnessed lots of death around him. And maybe to himself. I don't know.
Yeah. And two of them we couldn't even possibly get.
Yeah.
We had absolutely no chance. We could have gotten these two. Yeah. Mimikyu and Espeon.
This dude's not in, is he? Are any of the starters, or I guess,
okay, so
like Charizard and stuff. But
Rowlet is in the files. So I'm no idea what they plan to do with that. It's one of the couple dozen Pokemon that are in the files but cannot be.
Well, we all know Game Freak is the worst company in the history of the world.
It's true.
So they probably won't put them in.
Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about video games, not just Pokemon. In fact, probably not Pokemon at all. Maybe until the end. Well, you'll find out. And we're all super villains here. It's going to be a great time. We're going to talk about how we're going to stop that damn plumber from taking over our kingdom. That's right. He is the bad guy. Mario's the bad guy. He is the usurper. He's the usurper.
To wed with our princess.
Yes.
And take over the Mushroom Kingdom. Bowser's just trying to be patriotic and stop this.
Bowser is fighting for his people. He's a freedom fighter, a revolutionary, and don't let the liberal media tell you otherwise. Well, before we get into the podcast, just two quick announcements. First off, I did about 45-minute trailer breakdown thing for the Final Fantasy VII Remake trailer that just came out. We're going to talk about it on here too. But if you want to see me go like super nerdy on like every frame of that trailer, like more deep than we're going to go in here, that's there for you. We don't normally do that, but this is my favorite game of all time, and good God, that trailer. So
I really like this figure. I'm glad I got it.
It is really nice. Yeah. These are some. I mean, I like all of these. These are all pretty good. They're not the greatest for standing up. Every time you do that, it's Bradford's head's a little too big.
Espeon's good because the whole purpose of this series line or whatever is for it to sit.
That is good. Yeah.
Same with the fluffy one I got in my room.
I mean, I'm glad that Mimikyu and Bradford. I'd never say Grookey. I say Bradford. Look the way they do, but they're hard to stand up. Other announcement is our Pokemon Shield Nuzlocke is coming very close to an end. Hopefully we can actually beat this game. It's getting a little questionable.
It makes me feel bad because I hear people say it's easy, even some. Well, granted, I haven't heard many people say stuff in the Nuzlocke.
We're doing like harder rules than some people do, but
no healing items. We don't over level at all. In fact, there are a couple of times where we've been under level.
We're usually like at absolute max, like one level higher than the gym leaders. Pokemon.
We might have been a little higher than normal for Hop, and we saw how that went.
Yeah. So watch that. I think it's been a lot of fun. It's very entertaining, especially the latter episodes. I mean, if you just want to skip to like halfway through and go through, go for it.
And Darby is planning on doing a death compilation at the end, which isn't. I was thinking maybe we're gonna like, that might be a very short video to the point where you not even care to do, but now you kind of have to.
It might be a sizable video now. Yeah, so that's a fun time. So definitely go check that out. But without further ado about Pokemans, let's get into the real man's video games, not the stupid Pokemans. We're talking about Tim.
Are we?
I don't know. I don't know if you can talk about Tim. I could go ahead and talk about Control. I'm just going to briefly talk a little bit about Control. Because last week's episode, we did our top 10 of 2019, and I had just played it for the first time the night before. Then, and I was a little less than halfway through then. Now I'm at chapter 6 out of 9, so I'm over halfway, getting towards the end of the game, and I am still really, really, really digging this game.
Good.
I am still pretty surprised by how much I'm enjoying it. And I mean, as I'm going on, like it's like I can definitely I see where like Jacob's coming from, and I can definitely see where the gameplay still could kind of even out and just get kind of stale. Like there's still enough time for that to happen, and I don't think the gunplay and anything is anything too crazy. But so far, it's been like sporadic enough, and they're giving me enough different like types of enemies and everything to where it still feels really good to like use the telekinesis and the guns like together. Where I like at first I was kind of doing them separately, but now I'm like running through a room, I slam someone with it, they knock back, and then I finish them off with the gun, and someone else is flying over me, and I like slam them and do this. I'm like constantly, you're just pulling stuff, throwing, shooting, and it feels good. It's a lot of fun. And then the story, I am just like very, very, very into trying to figure out the mystery with the oldest house, and the setting is still like just so cool, and the story is kind of minimal, but in a cool way. You know, they tell you just enough to where you're like, I don't know what's going on, but I kind of think I do, but I don't. But I kind of do, but I don't.
Gotta read those files.
Yeah, unfortunately, I have not read a ton of the files because I am playing with my sister. So you know, we don't want to just stop and read something, you know, when you're playing with someone else. And unfortunately, I would have been done with this game already, but I'm waiting to play with her. But hopefully before we record next time, I am done. I imagine I'll only have one more sitting if I have a pretty decently long one. So, yeah, I'm really surprised. We're surprised by how much I'm digging this game. Yeah, I really wish I could see it on PC because it still runs like absolute shit on the PS4. Like we are so ready for the next gen. So ready.
Next gen, save us,
please. I'm so glad that we have PCs that can actually run like Cyberpunk because. Yeah, that's gonna. I hope like 7 Remake doesn't like stutter and freeze. And
we talked about off camera, the good news for like Final Fantasy VII and Ghost of Tsushima and that kind of stuff is, and Last of Us is, as of right now, they're only being made for the one piece of hardware.
Yeah, 7's obviously going to be ported, but at least that's going to be a while. You know?
I mean they got a year to do that, so they're probably just focusing.
Right now they're focusing on, and it's going to be They're at least they're not making it past their station. Whereas like Control, they were obviously making it on super high end PCs, and then they're like, "Oh God, we gotta put this. We gotta somehow make this thing run on this like basically 2013 PC, which is what the consoles are." And it struggles a bit, which is rough. But still really enjoying it. Hope to have final impressions by the end. If it stays how it is right now, it is easily my 2019 game of the year.
Cool.
And yeah. Fun times.
Doesn't count though, Darby. Can't count.
It's too late. Well, I still want to have that main topic where we go back for the last 3 years and redo our top 10s.
2017 will be interesting for me.
Yeah.
That's where I played a lot of 2018. Probably I can't see changing too much.
No, it's mostly like 2016 and 2017 that I think would be really interesting to me. Like obviously Persona 5 was something that I had not played the first time around. Yeah. Well, Jeff, what do you got for ladies and gentlemen today? And I forgot we were going to start with this, but I just jumped right in. I'm sorry, Jeff. Just hogging the spotlight with this old game.
We're talking about new shit. A Fire Emblem character in Smash. That's brand new.
So new. Revolutionary. So brave Sakurai is.
So yeah, we got Byleth now in Smash. I played around with him a little bit. I played his classic mode, went and practiced him a little bit, did his spirit board. I now officially have done all the spirit boards for the Fighter's Pass.
I thought you were gonna say for like the whole game.
Hell no. Part of me wants to do that because I actually have fun with the spirit battles.
Yeah.
But there's too much other shit, and it might be hard to get some of them. I don't know, like the event ones.
Yeah, we've talked about this. How I didn't even play like hardly any of World of Light because just all that stuff is just so not my jam. I'm lame and boring, and I realize it. But like we both, it's interesting. We both equally love this game, but in completely different ways.
Yeah.
Like it's actually interesting. Like it's both of our like one of our favorite games and series of all time. But the way I play it and what I love about it and the way you play it and you love about it are pretty vastly different, which is interesting. I think it makes it very interesting. And speaking of our interests being very different, I have not played Byleth and I really had no desire to. I will play him whenever we all play as a group, but Byleth, in comparison to every other fighter that came out, I'm like downloading it day one. I'm like, the servers are too busy. I'm just trying to download them and play Byleth. I'm like, whatever. But how is he, Jeff? How does he feel?
It's very fun. I worry about how good he is in one-on-one
because he's so heavy and
slow. I can see him wrecking shop in multiplayer battles.
Yeah,
like when we play as a group, because just his the arrow, that's gotta be just as far as strength, the strongest projectile in the game.
Yeah,
from a base character.
It's pretty wild because it looks like it shoots almost like any other arrow, but like it can kill.
Yeah,
like there's no other arrow. I can't think of another like arrow like that kills.
Byleth was one. I did the Byleth classic mode and I got to 9.8 on the.
Wow.
So blinding and hit that one time or whatever.
Wow, nice.
But. No, he has or Pishi, whatever. They have a very cool move set. I think again, it is very slow. I wish he had a little more speed or whatever to them, and it's a lot of his moves can be very easy to read. Yeah. Though one of the moves, the X move, is the easiest thing to read ever because it's a long load time to it. But depending, you might be able to get people off guard on it because you have crazy super armor.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen one in that presentation. I remember there being some moves where like Sakurai was even talking about like even if you read this, there's like so many frames where you're invincible.
But don't do it on a character with counters. It didn't happen to me. But
he also showed that.
Yeah. If you do that, I don't know how low it's got to be to kill, but I gotta imagine doesn't have to be that much.
And
on a lot of these
he's
counters.
Probably like the easiest character to like actually use counter moves against in the whole game, just because of how telegraphed his moves are.
Yeah,
and like slow wind up. It seemed like I've even seen clips where it's like he's like starting to do the thing, and the person has a full second to process it, and then they hit the counter button, and it still works.
Yeah.
Like
mainly for that move in particular. But I will say this: I don't know if everyone else has felt this way. I've seen some people do it. I can't remember like one character where I've broken so many shields. So
it's terrifying.
I've broken a good many CPU shields with Byleth, so for which means I can go up and do that axe.
Yeah, that's terrifying. It's just horrible. It's so weird because I wouldn't like. You don't look at Byleth and think, oh yeah, one of the heaviest characters in the game.
Well, here's the thing.
Here's
the thing, though. I don't think they're actually as far as weight wise, I don't think they're considered really that heavy. Their moves are just slow.
Their moves are just their moves are just super powerful.
So it's not like it's hard to, at least based on the little I've played, and I'm obviously not an expert on all that kind of junk for the most part.
Yeah.
But based on what I've seen, I don't feel like they're as hard to launch as like a Ganondorf or a Bowser.
Yeah, I guess their hitbox is not that big. Yeah.
But no, just even like how, because some characters are a lot easier to launch than others because of that. Just as far as like weight wise and all that stuff.
So it's weird. They might be like a lighter or like medium, like launch character, but they have moves like a freaking K roll.
Yeah. So very interesting. Again, I'm not expert on this. I just don't see them being competitively viable in one-on-ones.
Yeah.
Potentially, because these are more for fun terms, like 2-on-2 and free-for-all and stuff. Byleth is definitely there. Byleth is fun to play, which is the most important thing. But like I said, I did the classic mode. I wonder how much of that I should say is like what it is about and all that.
I don't give a shit, but I mean, I'll leave it up to you. You mean like it spoils 3 houses or something?
No. The spirit board probably does more of that.
I mean, I don't care about getting Byleth's classic mode.
Yeah, it's the classic mode.
I guess
So it's a
if
pretty
you want to skip ahead for a second, dude, this is so minor. I don't think that we should worry that much.
But it's classic mode is you're going through and playing game by game in order to release the Fire Emblem Heroes.
That's cool. That's cool.
Though I think there was another Fire Emblem character's classic mode at some point. I don't know if it's actually supposed to be.
They've had so many damn opportunities.
Yeah. So, like, one, you'll be, you just fight Marth, then you fight Roy, then you fight both Ikes, the young and old.
Yeah.
Then you fight the Awakening characters, and then you fight, I think, both Corns.
Yeah, there's enough Fire Emblem characters, they don't have to dip into any other characters outside of there if they don't want to.
Yeah. And the twist for the Master Hand and Crazy Hand thing, I think, was cool. So you're pretty much going through these and you're recruiting characters. So in the Crazy Hand and Master Hand, you have one character from each of those fights. So you have Marth, Ike, Roy, Robin, and Corrin all on your side fighting Master Hand and Crazy Hand.
Interesting. Are they harder, or is the Master Hand and Crazy Hand?
No, I mean I do think it's easier because they're getting hit for a lot of things, but the your allies are very easy to kill, easy for them to kill.
That's cool. That's definitely a cool little gimmick.
I'm trying to think what else. The stage is pretty cool. It's a very simple stage because I kind of wish there was more variety as far as what each area is. There are 4 different areas, and that's cool. But they're pretty much all walk-offs.
But yeah, I was gonna say the only problem is the whole idea of it is cool and being able to see a bunch of the monastery. But I thought about that when I saw the trailer again. I was like, if you took away all the decorations, these are all the same pretty much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you took it down to its base, just floor and platforms or whatever, it's basically the same stage every time. It should have been, we go and now we're in the bridge of the monastery and there's crumbling pieces and there's stuff. But as far as I can remember, they're all pretty much just flat room.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what different.
I know there's the chandelier thing up there, but there's not
chandelier in the dining room, and when you're at the marketplace, there's stalls, at the end of it, which are breakable.
Yeah, which that's something new, but you can't fall anywhere or anything like that. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. It makes it more maybe it's a more it's a stage that would just be more competitive friendly, but
No, it is not competitive friendly because walk-off stages are banned.
I just even meant more just with us, us playing or whatever, and we fix it.
I guess something that is different though when you're doing the not that it's a long thing, but when you're doing the transition, you like the magical steel thing under you, you're going up. It's kind of like a normal stage. I don't think it's a walk-off then, so you could technically make someone fall at that point.
Oh, gotcha.
So, yeah. It's one of those things where, from a design thing, it may not be boring, but from the thing of it's literally just fighting at a this place that I spent a lot of time in with Smash and all the crossover thing. Yeah, it fills that void. So, and we got a bunch of stages, so I think in a bubble it's fine.
Yeah,
and all that. Oh yeah, and Byleth's up B's nasty. Absolutely disgusting.
I don't remember what it is.
The chain sword.
That's the chain thing. Yeah,
absolutely disgusting.
That thing, that what he showed, going off the side and whipping up, throwing him down, whipping up again, pulling himself back up. It was just ridiculous.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you think Alex would love doing that?
A lot. I almost just don't even want to play with them. It just sounds horrible. I'm scared. Alex will have 2 different characters that he can literally go to the bottom of the screen and make his way back up.
Yeah, I will say, Byleth's recovery is good. So
it looks like
it. Yeah, as long as you can.
Hard hitting characters with good recovery. I don't like it. We don't need 2 characters like that. That's supposed to be the trade off. Whatever.
I guess there's also another thing that's nice about Byleth as far as just taking away it being Byleth and all that, just from a gameplay style. Of the 5 DLC characters, we really haven't had a big heavy hitting character per se.
No, yeah.
It's nice to have one of those.
Yeah. That's true. It's weird. I wouldn't have thought even if we knew it was Byleth, I wouldn't have thought like, oh yeah, Byleth is the big heavy hitting character. There's nothing about Byleth that screams like a big heavy hitter person. Like it just seems like Byleth is like any other Fire Emblem character. But I'm glad it didn't go that route because it's fucking boring and we've done that too many times. But it does almost feel like that they did that just out of like, okay, we got to make him different.
Yeah.
Not because it actually made really
if you
much
gave me
sense.
the list gave me the list of characters without showing me what they play like, I would have thought potentially Hero was more likely to be the heavy hitter. Because
I thought Banjo would be the heaviest hitter just because he's a big bear. But
yeah, potentially that. But Hero is kind of, especially if you show me the Dragon Quest 11 one, because his 2 weapons that he can use are the normal one-handed sword, but also the 2-handed great sword. It's like, you could have put that in there. That's just them showing me like each character and not worrying about the ultimate.
Yeah, no, Sakurai is going absolutely. He's lost his mind. He's giving you an MP meter.
I mean, Hero's done the best way I could have thought. I love it.
No, Hero is probably the coolest. Like just what it does to the game character out of the whole lot for me. Obviously, Joker is the most exciting, but like I think Hero is the coolest. Moveset wise, even if I don't really play Hero, I think the fact that they did that with Hero is insane.
People who just don't like Hero because of the RNG makes me sad. Yeah. Okay, Darby. News time. Jingle. Darby, let's talk about something you love.
Let's do it. Get out of here, Byleth. You're not invited back to the party. It's Cloud's turn.
Unfortunately, I was about to make a joke about what the next news stories is, but you actually like that, as far as I know. So.
I'm taking over the podcast.
Okay. So, yeah, we're talking about that Final Fantasy VII trailer, Darby.
Yeah, we is. I was thinking I do have the technology. I can put it up on the screen. We can just kind of go through it piece by piece. If that is something you are interested in doing, Jeff. Just as we talk about it. But first off, let's just, before we get started, what did you think about this trailer?
Might be the best trailer.
I think it probably is. I mean, it's weird. There's I definitely think it has flaws. I think this was not the best trailer for the voice acting.
Okay, yeah, I gotta throw something that kind of bugged me. I don't like the voice for young Cloud.
Oh, it's bad. It sounds like a 30-year-old man. It's pretty bad.
It's like the voice actor for Cloud. They decide not to bother giving him a different one for young Cloud, and he's just not really trying that hard.
I agree. I completely agree. It was a rough start. When I saw it, I was so happy to see Nibelheim and see young them or whatever. But I was like, oof, yeah, these voices are not the best. And I even think later on, I talked about this a little bit in the trailer breakdown video. We've talked about how I think Final Fantasy VII Remake so far has kind of avoided that awkwardness that comes from a lot of Square Enix Japan games being translated to English, where you have that weird overspeak thing where it just sounds like these are English lines that are translated weird. There's just always that off feeling, and I think so far 7 Remake has kind of avoided that. I think this trailer kind of dipped into that a little bit, where some of these lines, it was they sound close to being what someone would actually say, but not completely, you know? Like Scarlet saying, your timing is impeccably atrocious. I'm I don't think that's how people would really say that. Or there's a bunch of it's very subtle, weird things, whatever. But that aside, and the theme song, I think, is okay. It's nothing that special, whatever. But those two things aside, I agree. I think this trailer was just jam fucking packed.
They could have cut out the Hojo stuff and it just became more story trailer. Then they go into the gameplay stuff.
It was 2 trailers in one, pretty much. Yeah.
I forgot until I looked something up earlier about how long the trailer is. It's about 4-ish plus minutes or whatever it is.
350.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty long trailer. But did it get you hyped as someone who's not as close to all this but still excited?
So here's the thing. It still gets me nostalgic in a way because I have played this. I've actually played through a lot of this stuff multiple times.
That's true. Yeah, that is true. Yeah, Jeff's not coming as blind as we make it sound sometimes because you've played most of the stuff in here. You obviously didn't just grow up with it as a little kid, but you've played all the sections that we're going to see here, at least. But yeah, we can start if you're on the video version. We have it playing, but we won't get too distracted. But yeah, we had the early, it's cool seeing Nibelheim. I'm sure this is just going to be this flashback. We're not going to really see the city until the next part, obviously. But then Genova, like the first little look at Genova, and I was gonna be satisfied with that. I'm like, oh shit, we got to see Genova in the background, and then the end of the trailer. Yeah, I think this was cool, and then I really think they nailed the Shinra employees. Like they really are they're nailing the just kind of like scummy, corrupt, like over the top politician people, but they it's a mix between kind of a serious sci-fi thing and their wacky like crazy cartoon characters. It's a cool like merger of the two. Like she's using the soldier as a footstool.
And just him in general.
Palmer.
Yeah.
Just there's certain things that happen to him that I can't wait for. Yeah, and stop whenever you want to say something about this. But the Honeybee Inn, obviously.
I remember that being very small in the game.
I forgot to plug in my
We
computer.
good peeps.
Okay.
But
Crisis Averted.
yeah, I remember Honeybee being a lot smaller in the original game as far as.
Yeah, it was a lot less of it was a very creepy, absolutely wild, kind of disturbing strip club area. But this, they're definitely going for like a full like Vegas stage play.
Yeah. Based on what we see, I'm liking this a lot better.
I am too. I really am too. And let me know what you think. Because I didn't even know in my trailer reaction I was talking about this, and I didn't know if I'm reading too far into this and maybe being too optimistic. But I even talked to you a little bit about this whole section, obviously in the original, has some problems. You know, like it's absolutely something that kind of plays gay characters and just cross-dressing and anything like that is just obviously a giant joke, and that it's a punchline, which there is something inherently funny to having like your brooding emo protagonist forced to dress up as a woman when he doesn't want to. Like it is funny, but even outside of just that, like there is some just kind of like, oh, let's laugh at these people who are different things a lot in that original thing. I get the vibe from this where like I feel like the Honeybee Inn and a lot of these people are not necessarily being played as complete punchline. It's more just like these very exotic, extravagant people like in this other world. It's not saying like, oh, let's laugh at them. It's like they know something you don't about life. It's like they're just these like mysterious different people. Like, am I wrong for kind of getting that? Like, it feels like a better vibe.
No, I feel like that's a common sentiment based on what I've seen so far for this trailer.
Yeah,
I think it's one of those things. Yeah, we can get that feeling from the trailer now. We're gonna have to wait to see how it is in the full game, of course, to see.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah, we don't know. We don't know how good it's gonna be, but so far, I mean, it's just like everything else. It's like what you remember from the game, but the spectacle is like way bigger.
Yeah,
and it's cool. I'm interested to see if it's going to be, because in the original game, depending on, you can go out and find all the different pieces of his outfit, and if you do everything, then you get picked, like because your outfit's the best. Or if you just do the minimal, you don't get picked and you have to fight your way through. I'm wondering if like that's all going to be there, or if it's going to be more streamlined, where it's just you got the Honeybee. I mean, either way, I think it'll be fine.
Yeah.
But then this is probably my favorite part of the trailer, is getting to see the wall market. Because I touched on this in the trailer breakdown. This feels almost like a Red Dead Redemption or like GTA or something, for the level of like the city looks lived in. Like the people in the background, like these people just walking around, like the people getting food back there, people just walking everywhere. Like, you know what I mean? It just feels like it's alive, you know, which I think I'm so excited about. I just think the wall market looks incredible. It looks like a freaking Yakuza game.
Yeah. This is where the whole remake thing comes in, and
yeah.
Like they're going all out with this thing, like and why this is part one of this.
Oh yeah, like we can't keep having that argument. We just can't. Like you gotta look at this.
When you get to the whole them picking thing, when Don Corneo or whatever says like tonight's right, I just got a chuckle out of Aerith being like tonight's.
Tonight's. Oh god. Oh no. There's just so much happens in such a small amount of time.
I'm curious to see what happens with
yeah. I know
Mr. Noddamix.
Is that the Kingdom Hearts guy?
Yeah.
Okay. I know he has a name,
that's the right
and I
one,
just
yeah.
keep forgetting. And he's obviously like, we didn't know 100% before how much against the party he was in the last trailer. Now it's obviously you're fighting him, and he talks about how he's fought you before. I think he screams someone who's probably going to be an enemy at first, but then like kind of ends up turning on Shinra or something by the end. I could totally see that happening.
What if he's a party member later on?
It could. Like, they're doing different things. And it is one of those problems in this remake. You kind of have the problem that in this portion of the game, you only meet 4 characters. You meet these 3 and Red 13. You meet Red 13 super late. So they might introduce him or something as a new party member so that you have a bigger party this early in the game. That could.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think that's out there on a possibility. I could see, like, I think when, like, the Sector 7 plate falls, I could see that being where he turns on Shinra, where he's like, all right, fuck them. I'm with you. Like, I just see that happening. That's just kind of how I see that
They're
going.
obviously setting him up for a big role.
Yeah. Yeah, they've shown him too much for it to just be, you know. So, I mean, and then the man, the king, all hail the king.
His voice is perfect.
Oh, it's absolutely perfect. Like, how do they keep nailing everything?
I mean, it's not as good as Takahata 101's Red 13. But
this is true. Is he gonna get high off of his mind a bunch? Yep. It'd be best buds with Barrett.
Yep.
Oh, no, he looks so good, Jeff. I was like a little worried because obviously he's not a human. He looks very different or whatever. It could be harder to get it, but like, I don't know. They just nailed his design. Like you said, he sounds exactly how I would expect him to sound. It still just blows my freaking mind. And I really was not expecting to see him before. I thought they were just going to save him for the game, which maybe they should have, but whatever.
That is one complaint about this thing is I feel like we're at the point where they're just showing too much. I know this is a game where pretty much everything that happens we know, but it's still a thing of it'd be nice to see as you're playing the game how they actually do some of these iconic scenes.
I agree. My optimistic view on it is I think they're adding so much to it that I still think there's going to be a lot of things that we don't know. Like, yeah, I think a lot of the things they're showing us are things that we're expecting to a point. I mean, like this whole fight, like I don't know where the fuck they are. Like I guess this is after Sector 7 fall or something, but you're obviously like, you're seeing the sky and you're like in the ruins and everything. Like none of this happened, you know. So. But like I think that they're showing us a lot, but they're showing us a lot of the things we know. Whereas I think when we get in there, what's really going to shine is the things that we don't know, the things that because we're seeing a lot of like extraneous pieces we don't know how we get here, like this whole area. Like there must be some whole arc that's added that's like here.
Yeah. I mean, honestly. I think you might be right as far as they're showing the stuff that we know is going to be in here, but yeah, they're saving while hinting at stuff that they added,
right? And like the black shadowy things, we still don't know what's going on. Yeah. We've seen them a lot, but we don't really know.
So again, I think I've seen people have the fear of this game being too short. I can't exactly be with those people on that fear.
I agree. Yeah.
I mean, again, even we talked about just even the stuff that is from the old game, the way they're doing things, that alone makes it longer by a significant bit.
Absolutely. I mean, we had talked about how, like, I could already envision how you make Midgar into a full game. Like, you could totally envision it because in the old graphics or whatever, like, you were not able to make Midgar this full city like they wanted to. You could totally already see it was just like, are they going to go that far? And they definitely are. And then even more. I mean, because everything we see, even though we're seeing a lot, it's a lot of like, look at this, now look at this, now look at this, now look at this, now look at this. We aren't really seeing a lot of like prolonged like exploring the city. And I really do think that this is going to be a semi-open world. I mean, I really think the environments look so big. There's just, I mean, I have no issue. I have no worry about the quality of it, but like you can worry about the quality of it, but you should not worry about like the length or anything. Like I really think that it's just not founded. And people have looked like Leviathan. It looks freaking amazing. That's like one of those summons that's so big. Like, can you summon that anywhere? Can I summon that in the middle of the staircase and just have a Leviathan? Like, is that gonna work? I don't know.
Moogle and Chocobo.
Yeah. No, it looks incredible. Yeah, sorry, we can try to move faster. I could just talk about this forever, as I obviously already did for 45 minutes. But yeah, this is the last big thing. Jenova. Obviously, this fight did not happen. This is a new thing, and this whole environment that they're in, it's like this whole chamber that looks like it's like being taken over by Jenova. So I don't know if we are in Shinra headquarters right now. But it kind of like with these like weird pillars and the glowing stuff, like it doesn't really look like Shinra headquarters. It doesn't really look like a man-made thing. It looks like a crazy like
ancient temple.
Yeah. So like, did we get teleported somewhere or something? Like, I don't know. I really don't know. I'm down with it. Yeah, but I don't know. Yeah.
And that's fun, Darby. Something in here you don't know, like. You know, there are going to be actual surprises in this game.
I think there's going to be a lot. I think there's going to be a good amount. Because every trailer has had something that's like, oh, that's new. I didn't know that. And then this trailer like really went there where we're like, oh, shit, Jenova. Which it's cool because if you have this one game, you do need to introduce Sephiroth and Jenova in here, like earlier, because it would, like, I don't think you should go the whole first game without like really, seeing them. So I think it makes more sense. And setting up Hojo, like they're already setting up like Hojo being the mastermind, which like really wasn't really like in the Midgar section. I don't even think you see Hojo, or maybe you see him. Hojo. And freaking Jenova looks like a freaking Dark Souls boss. It's just insane how she looks.
Pew pew.
And we get Barrett doing some limit breaks, the chase scene where apparently like Barrett's like shooting this machine gun. That like enemy was just like a nothing enemy, but he looks insane. And like when you zoom in on all the party's face when they're like swinging on there, it looks like a movie. It's crazy.
Then all that ghost shit.
And then the ghost shit is completely enwrapping. Like, this is where, like, also, I think the end of this game, obviously, it's not going to be a complete end because it's part of a game and it's setting up. But people are worried about, like, oh, the ending of this game is going to be so anticlimactic, it's just cut off. When you see shit like that, they're going to change this ending to be, like, it's going to feel like a climactic thing. Yeah. You can't look at that and not think that this is, like, gonna feel epic.
No, I mean, and we've talked about this before. I feel it's more and more true the more trailers they release for this game. They deserve the benefit of the doubt as far as how they're handling this game.
I agree.
Until we get that game, the first part of it and it's just bad or something.
Yeah.
Or there's some parts of it or the new stuff is like just very weak. Where the stuff that's they remade from the original, that's the strong part, and then there's stuff you're like, eh.
If we feel like, oh, they're kind of messing up the story by introducing this stuff, like, yeah, I think that's the most likely way of it going wrong. But I really struggle to see how this game could be bad, which I probably shouldn't say out loud. But yeah, this trailer instantly made the wait harder. But here we are. We'll be all right.
Speaking of waiting, Darby. Some people are going to have to wait to play their favorite heroes in Overwatch.
Some will. While you read that, I'm going to go get the water.
Okay.
But I'll be right.
Because from Matt Kemp from IGN, Overwatch director Jeff Kaplan hosted a new developer update from the Blizzard team today that addressed many of the balance and meta grievances within the competitive Overwatch community. Blizzard says it will commit to more regular balance updates and will implement a hero pool system, not a hero ban. Talks of introducing a hero ban in Overwatch have been happening within the competitive community for some time. The idea originates from MOBAs, where before a match, each team can choose a hero to ban from the match. While there have been arguments from both sides about whether or not Overwatch should also have a hero ban system, Kaplan has gone ahead and introduced a new solution, hero pools. Each week during Season 21, Blizzard will implement a new hero pools system where a few heroes will be disabled from competitive play for a given week. Each week, a new pool of heroes will be temporarily disabled. Kaplan said the hero pool system is a test for Season 21 and may not persist past the season. The cadence of hero pools rotation could also change during the experiment. Furthermore, the disabled heroes aren't going to be chosen by an algorithm and instead by the design team. The goal is to shake up the meta every week and promote hero diversity. The system will only be available in competitive mode and not arcade or quick play. We just said the Overwatch League will implement a version of the hero pool as well.
Yeah, obviously this is a very big change. Very, very big change for Overwatch. Like, not quite as big as roll queue, but still pretty darn big. And with a change this big, it's definitely like when I first saw it, I like didn't really know exactly how to think, and I'm still like processing it. I still am waiting to see, but I was initially just kind of very conflicted and maybe even a little negative, but the more I've thought about this, the more I like it. Mm-hmm. The more I actually think that this change is going to be a good thing. So it'll affect
quick play because I only play a few heroes well.
No, and I think that quick play shouldn't be. Like, this is a move that's supposed to be for like the super competitive aspect of it. Like, I think it would be. I don't think it would make sense to put it in quick play. And because, like, honestly, playing quick play is a lot of fun right now. It's competitive is when things get bad, and I definitely get it because, like, and also I won't lie, a big part of why I'm excited for this is actually not even playing the game; it's watching Overwatch League.
Yeah. From a watcher standpoint, like it being competitive, like in the actual playing competitive modes, doesn't affect me whatsoever. I don't really care. Yeah. I mean, I want you guys to have fun, but that's the extent of it.
Jeff doesn't play the competitive mode. He just plays quick play with us every now and then. So it's like, it doesn't really.
But yeah, from watching Overwatch League, the more I thought about it, the more I kind of like it too, because and you guys watched a lot more than I did, but even from my time watching, it's like, man, these are the same teams and same builds. Maybe one person's playing a different hero a little bit each match. Yeah. But I think this will be good as far as this introduces new strategies. They can't stick to just the meta with these 6 heroes, and they had to teams have to stick with that to even have a chance to win.
Right. I mean, you would see teams, if they went off of it, they would immediately get destroyed and then have to get back onto it.
Yeah. Question. This is one of those things I can't remember. Was hero or were role queues really in Overwatch League that long?
It was for the fourth stage. So there's like 4. So it was in like 1/3, or 1/4 or whatever of the regular season.
Yeah, that's right.
And then it was in the playoffs, the championship. But no, so most of the season it was not.
So that, I mean, this is gonna be a lot different from the start of last season in Overwatch.
Yeah,
and I think generally this will be for the better. The only thing where I'm curious to see how they do it, and they might need tweaking is, I don't know. I guess how in advance maybe they let people know what for a certain week what heroes will be banned. Yeah. So they make him I get in competitive mode, just kind of may announce it in a couple days when the week starts or something. But I think you can make the argument for an Overwatch League, maybe letting them know a couple weeks in advance for this week so they can kind of prepare better.
Yeah, maybe at least even if you're going to change them weekly, decide, all right, the next 2 weeks are this. No, then the next 2 weeks after that are going to be this.
It's kind of getting at just letting know, you can still do the weekly thing, but maybe let them know the next couple weeks at all times.
Because I'm definitely sympathetic to the fact that, it was already hard enough for these players to train and get ready for matches, and then now this year they're traveling for every single game. Every single game is at a different place.
Yeah, and that's part of me thinking that too. So
so they have very little time as is, and then now it's all of a sudden, oh shit, you can't do this. And a lot of these teams, there's some teams that built themselves so that they're very flexible and have players that can play a bunch of different heroes, and then other teams built them with a bunch of specialists. And now this kind of immediately makes those teams that went for specialists worse because, you could just someone could get erased entirely, which is definitely a problem. But I think it's a lot and part of this was also if we were going to do a hero banning system, which
I don't know if I like that.
Which I'm saying hero banning is as far as both of these are some version of a hero being banned. If we were going to do this, which I honestly do think at least in the pro level it's needed. It's needed to force diversity because it's just not going to happen. So then if you accept that we're going to do that, then the argument was, do you do a hero ban where the teams themselves get a choice of it? or Hero Pool, or here where basically Jeff Kaplan gets the choice. It's just him.
Yeah.
It's just Jeff's picks.
I feel like this is a week for Zenyatta to take a break.
It's actually only Mercy.
Yeah.
It's all Mercy.
And we're slightly tweaking Mercy for the roles.
She has a rocket launcher.
Yeah. Tank and obviously Battle Mercy only.
Totally. So yeah, it was between those two, and I can see the pros and cons for both. Obviously, like with hero bans, the teams actually have some agency over it, and you can have a strategy of like, we're going to ban this and this or whatever. But the more I think about it, the more I think that this is better, because when you have that hero ban system, you can definitely get to the point where if like everyone in the league just knows that Orisa is just like overpowered and makes everything terrible, you're just going to ban Orisa every single time, and Orisa is just going to be out. And then that's even worse on the competitive ladder. If you're someone who really likes playing Orisa, you might just be like, well, she's effectively out of the game because everyone always bans her. And also in the Overwatch League, if you have someone like Jonak, who's like a really good Zenyatta player, you'll probably just never, ever, ever get to see him play his best hero, because they're just going to ban him. He's just too good with it. So that could get kind of sucky real fast. Mm-hmm. And it's like Overwatch is a little different than other MOBAs, where there are a bunch of different heroes and like switching and everything is a very core part of it. Overwatch is a lot more, it has those elements, but it also has the FPS like super Twitch aiming thing or whatever. So there are definitely people in the Overwatch League that come from Call of Duty and other games where like they are specialists when it comes to DPS hit scan. And then if you eliminate those, where it's like, well fuck, you know. So I think Hero Pool is overall better. There's definitely a worry that it kind of becomes random, a little too random, especially in the Overwatch League, where, you know, you might just have these two teams match up and it's just an unlucky ban for this one. Like this one team is really good with a certain character, and then they happen to go against the other best team when their best hero is banned. And it's like, well, fuck, you know. So that like, I think you're going to see a lot more upsets, which could be cool, but also, you know, it'll suck if you like, imagine in the NFL, if you're like, well, you're just lucky that quarterbacks were banned this week or we went on one. Like, you know, it's just, it's weird. It is odd. No. But overall, I think it's good. I think maybe that they need to mess around with, like you said, how long the bans happen and how much they're switching around or how much notice there is. At least on the Overwatch League level, I think a week at a time might be okay for the ladder, because I don't want someone who is like a one trick or like, you know, just only plays one or two heroes to like try to log into Overwatch and be like, well, damn, I can't play my favorite hero for a month. You know, if it was like that long of a ban. I think a week is a lot more reasonable. So, yeah. I think overall, it's a good thing. It'll be very interesting to look. And they're also putting out patches a lot faster right now. Like they just like they put 3 patches through in the last like 2 weeks.
You get a patch and you get a patch.
Yeah. And also the experimental card thing. It's a very minor thing, but like kind of moving a lot of their PTR stuff to the main game, which means console people can also participate, which they couldn't before. It was all PC, which is cool. Yeah. And they're going to like put a lot more like kind of weird experimental stuff on there. So dope. Overwatch is cool.
I don't like it. They're encouraging console players.
Yeah, get out of here, you scrubs.
Console dorks.
That we were for so long.
And we still are.
Damn, man. Stop.
Okay, Darby, it is time to talk some Resident Evil.
How? They're all werewolves in the next game. Did you know?
Well, actually, this comes on top Phillips from Eurogamer. Capcom's unannounced but inedible Resident Evil 8 will retain the first-person gameplay of predecessor Resident Evil 7, according to a new report on the project from fan site Biohazard Cast via YouTube channel Residents of Evil. It also tellers what Eurogamer has heard independently of the game from sources close to publisher Capcom. The report into RE8 also mentions the return of RE7 protagonist Ethan and classic RE character Chris Redfield. It also suggests we'll see werewolf-like enemies, proper zombies, and a female apparition which chases you through castle and village environments.
Hello!
Yeah.
That sounded real bad in the microphone, I bet.
Probably.
Yeah. What you think? I don't think it's that surprising.
There was,
But
there are definitely people wondering like what they were going to do in Resident Evil 8.
I don't think it was out there to think that they might abandon this, but I'm glad they're not.
Yes. I like this from your standpoint of we not like Resident Evil 7 wasn't well received in real life by most people. So, but I like it how they seem to be pretty much maybe going with the whole thing. They're going to be two different kind of Resident Evils. One is going to be the kind of third person horror type thing. And then you're going to have the first person games, which is still kind of horror too, but you get the point.
It's kind of different brands of horror, though. At least, I mean, RE2 was partially because it was a remake, but RE2 is definitely a little bit like campier. I mean, not completely. It's definitely real horror, but they're different.
Yeah, so I'm glad they're continuing down this path, especially since again, people like Resident Evil 7, and we just got 2 a year ago, and we're getting to in a couple months. I think 8 being first person and being different from those will be a nice pace, especially since they're pumping these games out. Well, depending when this game comes out, but
Yeah. I mean, just look at RE2 and RE3. That's crazy, but
yeah,
I'm totally down for like the split roads where it's like both of these get to coexist, and they're both really good, but in different ways.
Now, the thing where I think people are generally okay with the whole first person thing. I know some people would prefer just always doing third person, but
at least if you prefer that, they're obviously still making those games too.
Yes. Thing people may not be as happy about is the fact that it will be the return of RE7 protagonist Ethan.
Yeah, I can't speak a lot on this because obviously I didn't play RE7 and I didn't finish it. But what is the problem with this?
He's not the most exciting protagonist.
Okay.
Because you don't get to see him. So compared to other like Resident Evil protagonists, you don't build as much of a connection to the character.
Was he just more of a static protagonist more?
Yeah, I mean, he still talked and everything and had a personality. He just wasn't the most exciting. And just because the way the game was, he didn't have the standout moments that you just remember him for,
Right, yeah.
Like when people talk about Resident Evil 7, it's all about what the characters you meet did.
The family.
Yeah. And I say that especially, this might be just me watching Easy Allies and stuff, but you have Joe Baker in the DLC, and it's still a first-person thing, but people seem to have a more positive reception to him.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, he is a man that is punching these zombies you had trouble killing, and as Ethan, and then he's punching them to death pretty easily. It's pretty great. I need to play that in VR.
Dude, punches zombies. I'm definitely down for it.
Yeah, so I'm okay with potentially having Ethan, especially if they got a story to tell with him. But hopefully they give him kind of more of a personality, make him more an interesting character.
Is the return of Chris Redfield like a surprising thing, or is that something that makes sense if you play?
So, spoiler for RE7.
Yeah.
You get out of the house and also Chris Redfield comes down and pretty much rescue you and get you out of there.
Okay.
So Chris is at the end, and Chris is playable in a DLC.
Okay, gotcha.
For RE7. So not really a surprise at all that's happening. And yeah, that's fine. I'm curious to see if they're going to be like dual protagonists where you kind of switch off with them, or it's just going to be straight up you playing as Ethan again.
I wonder if like we're getting all this information. I wonder how close we are to it.
That's what I'm wondering. Like they're pumping this stuff out pretty quickly, presumably. I mean,
it's been a while since RE7, but
that's the thing.
It feels weird because we're getting 2 other games in the meantime.
And it seems like RE2 and RE3 were kind of worked on by the same teams, but in a way, I think they might have ended up being different teams, but they're kind of there's a rumor about them kind of being developed side by side. Where I have to imagine the RE7 team, once they were done with the DLC and stuff, went to this game.
Yeah.
So we might hear.
Capcom just seems to have the miracle magic sauce for just making games and pumping them out.
Yeah. I mean, we might hear about RE8 if they do like with, RE3 by the end of the year. Maybe early next year, but.
Yeah.
But then we get into the whole werewolf thing, which is different.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely haven't played all the Resident Evil games, but I've never heard people talk about werewolves.
Yeah. Nice and different. And proper zombies make a return. Then, and that's one complaint people had RE7, just the goo monsters didn't feel as iconic.
Yeah.
And what I think is fair, and that whole ghost thing seems to be the Nemesis / Mr. X.
It's Mr. X
version of this game. So all this stuff is cool.
Or it's that
the one thing I'm going to be sad about is I doubt this is going to have VR, and it makes me sad.
Yeah. There's a chance.
There's a chance. And
Probably
if it did,
not,
I will freak out and be happy. I mean, I'm going to play this game either way, probably.
Yeah.
But I made me more excited for the VR because I love RE7 in VR.
Yeah. Is RE7 the only Resident Evil game you've played all the way through?
To completion, yes.
I mean, I haven't played any of them. I couldn't remember if you had gone back and played any of the other ones.
I'm going to play RE2 soon.
Yeah, I want to as well.
Yeah. And I'm playing RE4 on my Switch at some point. Probably after I get done with it.
I should play RE2 like while I'm waiting to play Control with Jenny, but like I did play like several hours of Final Fantasy 14 today, and I enjoyed that quite a bit.
Plus, you never know. RE2 might be the next Jenny game.
Yeah, I probably should. Like me and her have been looking for games to play. We've tried several things, and just like it wasn't her jam or it wasn't my jam or whatever. But then Control was finally like, "Oh, we got a hit. Let's go." I should probably try RE2.
Yeah. So, this is exciting! Yay, Resident Evil.
Hazu.
Something that's not Hazu.
When is Hazu gonna be announced for Smash?
Hazu and Banjui.
I gotta look up what character's named Hazu. While you read this, while I look up who our Nerds at Large mascot is.
For some reason, I hear that I think of the Flintstones.
Would you just do Hazu, like Hazu? Hazu video game. That's the dude from Persona. That's Mission. Like, how did I get you? Okay, well,
this comes from
Mishima, or however you say his name. That's our mascot. He sucks. We have a sucky mascot.
Yeah. This comes from James
Mac is dead.
Bachelor from GameIndustry.biz. This is a long one, Dory. I don't know. And I haven't really read for it, so I don't know how much of it I should actually. Google has addressed concerns that it is not informing the initial Stadia user base about future releases and upcoming features for the cloud gaming service. Reports on various sites earlier this week pointed to frustration among the Stadia community, often citing a particular Reddit thread. The poster claimed it had been 40 days since Google had added or announced a new game for Stadia, and the bulk added around the launch 69 days ago at the time of the post. The post also complains of the lack of iOS support and that the only Android phone supported are the Pixel models. Family sharing, description-less Stadia-based membership, or regular updates on the roadmap for these and other features. Finally, there was reference to a stat Google revealed in its New Year update that more than 120 games were coming to Stadia in 2020, with more than 10 exclusives in the first half of the year. Oh man, they better pick up that pace. A Google spokesperson told GameIndustry.biz that the Stadia team has in fact been providing weekly updates on the Stadia community forum, as well as monthly recaps on the Google Keyword blog. They also address expectations surrounding the 120 titles. Quote, "We understand the desire to hear more specifics on the games. After all, that is what it is about. The games." Of course, not all 120 titles will be announced by the Stadia team, as we leave it up to the publishers to make the announcement about their IP/games and which platforms it will appear on, just as we will do with the exclusive content coming to Stadia. There are a lot of reasons for the time of those game announcements, anything from planned promotions or events, title readiness, proximity to the first playable demo, show requirements, etc. We continue to work closely with our publishing and developing partners and are here to support them in all areas. We are excited to share more about some of the exclusive games coming to Stadia soon. Elsewhere in its New Year's update, the Stadia team has already promised a 4K resolution and wireless control port when playing on browser, support for the additional Android phone.
You can probably stop there. Basically, after this statement, they have after that announced two games coming to the Stadia Pro subscribers for free, and as Metro Exodus and Guilt. So
they're going ahead and just giving out their one exclusive game.
Yes. Yeah. And so that was after. I mean, we don't know if that was like in response or if that was just going to happen anyway.
Probably a little bit of response.
It might have been a response. They also did that thing before where they like added games to the launch lineup at the last second or something. So
I saw some people say the reason this probably been so quiet is they were planning on adding these games throughout this period, but they added them all at launch.
Yeah.
In other words, this is the very botched launch, and I'm more and more expecting this to die sooner rather than later.
It can't feel good at the Google Stadia office, can it? Like, you cannot feel good.
No. And
it is another, and you're totally right. That is why it's been silent. It's because they like threw all those things up there. They were gonna like spread apart. Like, I mean, that's definitely what's happening. This is yet another thing that would. This whole process would be fine, and we would not be having a news story about it on here had they not freaking bought ads at football games and said this was the launch of Stadia and all this other stuff. If they didn't treat it like that, if they treated it like Microsoft's treating xCloud, this whole thing would be fine. It would be fine. Be fine. But they didn't, and unfortunately, the Google shareholders, they heard this is the Google Stadia launch. They saw the NFL ads and all this other stuff. So they're expecting results immediately. And I cannot imagine that any Google shareholder is like happy with this. And I have no faith that they're actually going to give this the amount of time that it needs to be successful. Like you said, I agree with you. The more this goes on, the more I'm like pretty convinced this is going to be another Google project that's just thrown away.
To the point, me and you talked about if they had a downloader, we'd probably just buy most of our games on Google Stadia. But now at the point where if they added that, I'd be like, I'm probably not doing that.
Are my games going to evaporate into
exactly. I'm not taking that risk right now.
Until you prove something better.
Well, in the whole 12 exclusive games in the first half of the year is like, you've only announced Guilt. Where are the other ones? Are they just going to be shadow dropped? Like, what are these games? And are they any games like that we're going to be like, oh yeah, I want to play this?
Oh, and even like the person saying like, it's not up to us to announce that. I mean, like that's a funny quote or whatever, but it actually makes sense. That's not the problem. The problem is you just didn't have enough to have a launch. Like them being announced whenever, but you just should have had like a more put together.
Even in a way, even that's true. They kind of set the expectation for them to announce the games because up to this point, unless I'm wrong, they've announced for most of the games that are on there themselves.
Yeah,
on their own like social media things, like in bulk. So it's not a thing of not like we just been getting a steady stream of like from the beginning of the developers themselves announcing along with some other stuff. Hey, we're coming on Stadia as well. There have been a couple cases where you say that happened, but it's been few and far between.
Yeah. And I mean, like you said, even if we could do that stuff like right now, it'd be like, I'll just wait for xCloud. I have Game Pass. It's probably going to work right with it. Like, there's no way, shape, and form. Like, I can see no way that Google Stadia is going to be the better deal in that scenario.
Yeah.
The only thing it has over it is that it's out first, and look what it's doing for it. Like, I think the fact that it's out first is part of the reason why it's going to die because it just came out.
Well, Google Stadia is out, and xCloud's in beta, but xCloud has a bigger game lineup, and that's a lot of really good ones on there too.
Especially if it works with Game Pass, it just has this giant floodgate waiting to open. It's just crazy. I mean, the marriage of those two services is just pretty killer.
Yep.
And especially if it works the way I think it's gonna work, where like I can have Game Pass and I can play all these games on my PC or play them like downloaded, or I can play, or I'm an Xbox. I'm not gonna have an Xbox, but I can play it downloaded on my PC, or I can play it on xCloud.
Yeah.
It's just better. It's just simply better.
Yep.
Sad. All right, start playing taps. It might be on its way out. I don't know. Like maybe we'll look like idiots. I feel like I have to say that every time we talk about the Google Stadia is that maybe our comments will age poorly, but it's looking worse and worse.
I won't feel like an idiot because there's nothing else for us to think about besides this based on their actions. Yeah. They have to do like a 180.
I agree.
Okay, next story comes from Adam Bank here from IGN. Nintendo's president, Shuntaro Furukawa, has stated that Nintendo has no plans to launch a new Nintendo Switch. These comments are from Nintendo's 9 months financial results briefing for fiscal year ending March 2020, in which Nintendo also said, "We believe it is important to continue to communicate the appeal of Nintendo Switch systems and expand the installed base."
So, probably no Switch Pro this year or
But Darby, right after this, they announced the Animal Crossing Switch.
They did.
I think we know what they
it has some stickers on it. It's new. Is that what we mean? Is that what we mean by new Switch? Oh, that's what you meant. Okay, we're gonna have plenty of new Switches.
Yeah,
don't you worry your little head. What you think?
It's not really that surprising to me necessarily. I mean, if they announce a Switch Pro, that also wouldn't be surprising to me.
No, yeah.
But okay, I will say this. I think, and this is the pessimistic side of me, and I think you'll maybe potentially agree.
Pessimistic Jeff coming out.
I think if no Switch Pro comes out this year, if they're even planning on making one, means Breath of the Wild 2 is not this year.
I mean, you think they're that dedicated to tying those two together?
Potentially. I feel like that's the big game to showcase it in the big marketing thing. Or it might be a thing of they're not going to push to try and have it this year. Kind of thing.
I mean, I've always, this whole time, I'm not as convinced as you that Breath of the Wild 2 is coming out this year.
I don't even really said it's coming out. I said they're planning on it, or at least did at the time of the announcement. Whether it happens is a whole different story.
I don't think that the Switch Pro thing is as much of a guarantee to happen at all as a lot of people think.
Oh, yeah, no, I agree.
I think what's a lot more likely is for them to continue replacing the Switch base model with slightly better things that just becomes the new Switch. I think we're gonna get probably several more of those. But I would not be at all surprised if there's just not. We just don't do this because it's not as simple as the PS4, as the PS Pro and the Xbox One X, because they can kind of they have unlimited room to kind of just improve these consoles and put out a beefier PC. Whereas with the Switch, and obviously I'm speaking out my ass a little bit because I don't know a ton about how these things are made. But it feels like because of the handheld aspect of it, you can only make that so good in a handheld thing. I feel like there's probably a ceiling there that's not that much higher than what the Switch is already at right now. I mean, a Switch Pro is obviously going to be better, but I don't think it's going to be anywhere near the relative leap that the PlayStation and Xbox versions are.
Plus, there's always that fear with me that kind of makes me not want it, that they'll pull a Xenoblade, and I think Fire Emblem Warriors is another example on 3DS where was a new 3DS exclusive. Yeah. So they'll have games that are exclusive to the new Switch.
I feel like that didn't work out great for them.
No.
Right? So, I mean, I feel like they probably wouldn't do that again. And one, I think they were talking about that kind of funny the other day. I think it was only a total of 20 games total or something that were actually exclusive to the new 3DS, and most of them were kind of whatever games. There was a few big ones, but I think that ultimately led to a big waste of time for Nintendo to do all that and probably hurt Xenoblade's sales, I imagine. So I would expect not, but there's a chance that happens.
Yeah,
which that would be a big bummer. I would be legitimately really pissed if this fall they're here's Breath of the Wild 2 and here's a Switch Pro. You gotta get a Switch Pro to play Breath of the Wild 2. I'd be God damn it, are you kidding me?
And then in another couple of years there'll be a Switch 2 that you gotta get for the new games.
I'm not made of money. Even when I see all these people buying the Animal Crossing Switch thing or whatever, it's I'm sure you're trading in your Switch, but still, it's why are you people so keen on just throwing away $300?
I think a lot of these people aren't trading the Switch. I think they're just trading getting new ones.
Is everyone rich and I just don't realize it? Or is everyone just very bad with their money?
I don't know. I'm not getting a second Switch.
I've never understood. I've always thought it was weird, that when even special edition, the Spider-Man PS4 and just all these special edition things or whatever, where a lot of the people that buy them are people who already have the system, and that's always been so confusing to me. I'm who is this for? I would think this is for new people who end up wanting this, but I'm already like kind of dreading having to put down $500 for a PS5. I'm gonna do it, but I don't want to like spend even more. I already buy so many damn games. I spend too much money on video games already. I don't need to buy something with a few stickers on it for $300.
I agree. You're not gonna
it's wild.
Yeah.
Switch Lite, I felt the same way. I don't want to spend a bunch of money on something that does less things than the thing I already have. Like, I just don't get it. I don't get it.
I don't get it either. I get people like who don't have a Switch and want it for the cheaper thing and all that.
I don't even get that because you can buy for like not that much more money the thing that does both. It was like $50 extra maybe. I don't know.
This comes from Wesley Inpool from Eurogamer. Developer Platinum is reportedly set to announce a Kickstarter to bring Wii U game The Wonderful 101 to other platforms, including the Nintendo Switch. The YouTube channel Game Explain claims The Wonderful 101 is set for Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 4 ports via Kickstarter. Although there are rumblings, Platinum is gunning for Xbox One too. This report is backed up by Did You Know Gaming's Liam Robertson. So, this one sounds pretty likely. According to reports online, an announcement is set for the coming days.
Well, as a resident 101 mega fan, at least in comparison to me, what you think?
This isn't necessarily surprising. Platinum has definitely shown a lot more interest than Nintendo to bring this game and this franchise back from the dead. Because for people who do not know, Wonderful 101 was probably the biggest bomb on the Wii U.
Which that's saying something.
Or at least one of, compared to potential expectations. There are games that probably sold worse, but as far as what potentially could have been from a Nintendo, technically first-party IP, this game did horribly.
I'm glad this didn't kill the Platinum Nintendo relationship.
Yeah, we'll get to, success from that relationship later. But yeah. Platinum has shown a lot of interest in potentially bringing this back and porting it to like the Switch and stuff. So them potentially just buying the IP from Nintendo and trying to get funding for a port to keep this franchise going is not completely surprising.
Yeah, it is weird. It's kind of unprecedented for like Platinum's a little like kind of a bigger studio to be doing like a Kickstarter like this, and also it's a Kickstarter for a port, which is kind of a rare thing and feels like a hard sell to me. Like that feels like a hard thing. Yeah, because
you said it before we started recording that. So you're doing this Kickstarter for people who have played The Wonderful 101 already and are fans, but then you're also just going into that subset of the small amount of people who actually play Wonderful 101 who want to pay enough to get a port.
Yeah.
So I guess with Kickstarter, you don't necessarily need to do enough to buy the game. You can just throw in $5 for it to happen, technically. Right. But even that's still a small number.
Yeah. No, like you said, yeah, it's a subset, and it's also the subset that would be willing to donate, and then it's a subset of that's willing to donate not for a new game, but for a port of the existing ones.
Yeah. I think the thought might be there are people that might donate anyway in hopes of this being successful to get the sequel.
And you will get some people with that. Yeah. I mean, hopefully there's not much money they're asking for, because I don't think they're going to get much, and they shouldn't expect much. But also Daniel Ahmad, like people in the Twitter thread, like from the Bell, who I saw this from, people were saying like, what about, because I think Tencent has like owns stake in Platinum or something like that. Because Tencent is tied to every video game company.
Yeah, that's a very recent thing.
But as people were asking, what about the Tencent money? And Daniel Ahmad responded and said the Tencent money is for larger projects, and basically like Tencent's not funding this. Like they would have to find their own funding for this. So Tencent's like, get this small garbage out of my face. I'm Tencent.
Get this failure out of my face.
Yeah, it's sad but true.
Yep. So we will give updates for this as far as maybe how it's doing and all that.
Oh, cool. For your sake, I hope it happens.
Ooh. Okay, let's see. Next thing, Darby, we're into the sale time.
Sales time.
And we got some big sales time new, because we're at the end of the third quarter of the 2020 fiscal year. So a lot of reports. First thing, we'll talk about Microsoft. This comes from Dave Thier
Fire
from Forbes. Microsoft's quarterly gaming revenue fell 21% year over year for its second quarter of fiscal year 2020. According to recently released earnings, that's a significant number. Microsoft says that it's not actually all that bad, particularly here at the end of the console cycle and in the midst of the run-up to the Xbox Series X. Microsoft's gaming revenue fell in terms of both hardware and content/services, though hardware fell much more sharply at 43%. The content and services declined by 11%, and Microsoft blames a tough comparison to inflated numbers last year. Here's the relevant passage. Quote, gaming revenue decreased $905 million or 21%. Xbox hardware revenue decreased 43%, primarily due to a decrease in volume and price of consoles sold. Xbox content and services revenue decreased $295 million or 11% against a high prior year comparable primarily from a third-party title, offset in part by growth in subscriptions. Most announced that the third-party title in question is Fortnite, which slowed considerably year over year and was capable of both driving hardware sales and pushing considerable content sales through in-game content purchases. And then here's a little note. Total game revenue in 2019 was $10.3 billion, down from $11.5 billion in 2018.
Yeah, so basically they're like, it's something that sounds really bad on paper, but then there's like so many different factors that kind of give context and that explain to it. Like part of it was Fortnite going down, and Fortnite makes everyone go down because it makes everyone so much money, and gaming as a whole is down in 2019 from 2018. They part of that is with
unless you're Nintendo.
And part of that is new consoles coming out. I think everything's going to slow down to a point. I think 2019 was a little like worse for big games. Xbox themselves obviously haven't had any exclusives, and it's all those things I just said. And as me and you've been saying this whole like last year and a half, Xbox is kind of like making their business less about the hardware sales and less about the stuff by like with Game Pass and PC. Like I'm playing Xbox games now on my PC and everything that I never would have before. And there's just a bunch of different things leading to this. Like I even think that some of these numbers might even still look bad in the next generation, even if they themselves are still doing good. You know?
Yeah. So. Don't disagree. And yeah, it is.
It's not concerning. No, it's also not like the roof is on fire thing.
Yeah, and it's like this said, is leading up to the next generation, which is obviously going to see things go down. But since Microsoft was kind of far behind anyway, and hasn't, as you know, they haven't had the games to push, further console sales, so it makes sense that it would hit them harder than, let's say, PlayStation. So I think if we get to next year and there's nothing like significant as far as sales wise, because that'll be right after the Series X comes out, then it's like, maybe that's when we get really concerned.
And that's what like Xbox just simply has not like, this hole is just inherently going to keep getting bigger if they don't have the games to get themselves out. Which I mean, honestly, pretty much, especially when it comes to hardware sales and stuff like this, they've pretty much waved the flag this gen.
Yeah.
I mean, like, they're doing Game Pass and everything. Like, all these, like, insanely consumer-friendly moves are very obviously all just, like, they're doing the Hail Mary for next gen. They're like, please, baby, let's, they're doing the roulette wheel, however many other metaphors I can do. They're baking everything on next gen. And I think they're kind of letting this gen sink into the ocean.
Yeah.
How many more metaphors can I get? I'm just throwing them all out there, dude.
I don't know.
They're taking the dog out back, shooting it.
Let's see if EA can get metaphors.
All right. I might be writing out metaphors.
Do better. This comes from Patrick Shanley from Hollywood Reporter. Electronic Arts on Thursday posted net revenue of $1.6 billion over its most recent financial quarter, the third quarter of its fiscal year 2020, up from $1.3 billion over the same period the year before. The bulk of the number came from digital revenue, which accounted for $1.1 billion of the net revenue total. That is a lot of it.
Them microtransactions.
Gross profit for the quarter topped $1 billion. The holiday season proved to be a boost for EA, which recorded net revenue of $1.3 billion last quarter, itself a nearly 8% increase year over year. The new figure exceeded revenue projections from last quarter by EA, which predicted $1.5 billion in net revenue with the launch of Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. And speaking of Jedi Fallen Order, this comes from Owen S. Good from Polygon. In a call with investors on Thursday, Chief Financial Officer Blake Jurgensen said, Jurgensen? Is that right? I don't know.
Might be Jurgensen.
Said EA expected Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order to sell 6 to 8 million copies by March 31st, the end of EA's fiscal year. Players bought 8 million units by the end of December 2019, Jurgensen said. So the company's raising its estimate to 10 million units by the end of March.
That Star Wars just keeps making the money, Jeff. I don't know.
Yeah. So Darby, or is this telling me that having good, well-received single-player cinematic games can still be financially viable?
I think it is, and I see a lot of like headlines for like that, and it's like, I mean, hasn't that message been proven like 300 times the last 2 years?
I don't disagree, but EA's one that's kind of been touting the microtransaction thing, so them doing a game, I was like, you don't say.
Look what happens.
A good single-player Star Wars game can make you money and sell a lot.
Yeah, I guess it is the first time EA has directly learned that lesson, which that's the only way they're going to learn that lesson. They might still not learn that lesson, but like if you're looking at gaming trends at all, you know that single-player games never died. There was just a lot of like dumb talk about it. Yeah. I mean, microtransactions can make you fucking buckets and buckets and buckets and buckets and buckets of money, but games like this will still sell 10 million copies in just a few months.
Yeah.
Also,
this came up in the NPD thing last week. It was part of that, but we did not talk about it. I don't think we mentioned it. We mentioned Star Wars obviously being on there and all that, but it's Respawn's best-selling game. No, not surprising. Yeah. So Respawn will be a Star Wars machine now.
Yes. Apex is now Star Wars.
Well, yeah, Apex and Respawn has been doing very good for EA the last year.
Respawn had a year. They show had a year. I wish Fallen Order was better quality wise, but they had a year. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Next thing. You just inserted this in here. We got PlayStation Plus and games.
Whoops. Oh well, whatever. We're doing it.
We're doing it now. Okay,
really quick.
Yeah, PlayStation Plus, BioShock Collection.
That's a big one.
Yeah, especially since I don't think I had. Yeah, Infinite's on PS3 for me, so yeah, this is nice. This is really nice, actually.
Really nice.
Yeah, I still need to play 1 and 2.
That's really, y'all have no excuse. Go play BioShock, all of them. Play the whole damn lot.
Sims 4. That's why not?
You want screw BioShock? Go play Sims 4. It's probably good. Sims is good.
Yeah, we'll probably do a stream of it maybe.
It would be fun.
Why not?
We'll probably kill everyone.
What I'm excited about, Firewall 0 Hour for PSVRs is a little added bonus.
Yeah. That was wait, you're gonna go get your little gun?
Yeah. Well, I don't know about all that. I mean, honestly, if I enjoyed it or whatever, played around, enjoyed it, and I found the gun by itself for cheap, maybe. Why not?
This was a pretty early PSVR game, wasn't it? I remember hearing good things about it.
Yeah, I can't remember how early it was, but I played a demo of it, free trial thing, and I had fun with it.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to just go in and have fun with this.
I have been playing a lot of VR recently, just all Beat Saber, but I've been playing a lot of Beat Saber.
Okay, time for Games with Gold for February. TT Isle of Man, whatever the hell that is. Yeah. For the whole month of February, Call of Cthulhu. Did people like this game? Okay, was it a Swimming in Sevens game?
Is that a Jacob Hamill joint? I think that's a Jacob Hamill joint.
Did he actually play it? He never mentioned his thing, so if he did play it, that's not good news. I know he was interested. I remember
him talking about it, but like, he might not have actually played it.
Okay. Hey, Jacob, you haven't played it, and you don't have the game. You borrow my Xbox.
There you go.
Fable Heroes, just the first half of the month. In the second half of the month, Star Wars Battlefront, the original. You want me to get that and you can play around with it, Darby?
I already have it.
Oh, yeah.
I have that game. And I have played that game. It's pretty good. It's all right.
Now, if you want a nostalgia trip on a current gen console.
Oh, wait, this is the old one.
Yes, that's what I mean, the original.
Oh, shit. Well, yeah, obviously I played those a ton as a kid. Oh, okay. I thought this was like...
No,
This is the problem you get when you make the same game twice. There's 2 Star Wars Battlefront 2s.
Man,
it's the dumbest thing in the
for a
world.
second. It's like, okay, I didn't expect you to be this kind of dismissive of it.
No, okay, sorry. I thought it was 2016 Star Wars
Hell
Battlefront.
no.
Yeah.
That'd be the headliner.
That's what I was like.
This game of golf thing instead of the bottom one.
Yeah. No, okay. That actually is cool. That actually is pretty cool. Yeah. I played the shit out of those games as a kid.
Yep.
Played them so much. Yeah. Sorry. Yes. Yeah. That could be cool. That could be a lot of fun. Yeah. I'm sorry to be dismissive, Jeff.
I was a little confused.
I thought we were talking.
I did first look like, is he thinking of talking about the new one?
I mean, it is pretty dumb. The fact that they released Star Wars Battlefront and Star Wars Battlefront 2 when those 2 games already exist. There's already a Star Wars Battlefront and a Star Wars Battlefront 2. And it's not like it's a completely different series. You're making like very similar games. It's really dumb. It is real dumb.
Well, that was Nintendo sales, Darby.
Just talking.
And this is all we got Nintendo. I like Nintendo the best when they do this stuff because they just give a whole bunch of numbers.
I really wish any other company would do this.
Yes,
Nintendo just like, here's the whole damn thing. They even did that through the whole Wii U life cycle, right? Even when shit was dire, they're like, all right, here, look. We're not proud of it, but go ahead and look.
And all these numbers, so I don't have to repeat it over and over again. This is all as of December 31st, 2019.
Yeah.
Hardware. The Switch is up to 52.48 million.
That's a lot.
Yep, I think it was like about 10 million for that quarter.
Jesus. That's a big holiday.
And the pace of...
Never underestimate the Pokémon.
Yeah. And it's outpacing the PS4 as far as sales.
In the same amount of time.
Yeah.
I doubt, like, I'm sure you agree, like, I doubt it'll ever actually hit the height of PS4 just because PS4 is freaking insane sales. But it could, and the fact that it's outpacing it at any level is definitely insanely impressive.
Software is 310.65 million. So each person is getting about 6 games. And that's it.
That's math.
That is math. Then we're going to get to the individual games and how much they've sold. We get some updates. Dari, let's have a little fun with this.
Hopefully I haven't looked at it too much. I don't think I have. Go ahead.
Oh, well. Okay, well, that can add it too. I was saying, like, we can just, for a conversation thing, and some of these games will obviously spawn more than others. When we hear the numbers, like, did this game exceed expectations, lower than expectations, or just right?
Okay, but I want you to have some Easy Allies-esque call-outs for all these or whatever. Like, it can't just be good, bad, or middle. Like, I want some, like, shining in the sun. Like, you gotta, like, do some Kyle Bosman thing. It is hiding under the stairs or shining in the sun.
Okay, we're doing that.
I don't know. All right.
Or sitting in front of the TV.
For the
what?
middle.
The middle of it.
Yeah. Sitting in front of the TV, hiding under the stairs, or shining in the sun.
Okay.
Oh, weird. The budget Easy Allies are really bad.
Mario Kart 8 at 22.96 million.
I mean, is this by our expectations? What we expect
it can be general.
I mean, it's shining in the sun. Like, that thing is just insane. It is a port of a Wii U game, and it's selling better than anything else in the world. It's just games. Freaking ridiculous.
It's getting close to potentially going over Red Dead 2. In the little bit if it keeps up the pace.
I'm sure it probably will.
Yeah.
There's a good chance it will.
Super Smash Bros. Ultimate at 17.68 million.
Also shining.
Yep. It's crazy.
We expected that game to sell well, but for it to be in the stratosphere with Mario Kart 8's sales is pretty insane.
Super Mario Odyssey, 16.59 mil.
Also, I mean, I think most of these games are shining in the sun.
Yeah, I think it'll be. Well, I mean, a lot of these first ones, they're just kind of updates on numbers. I expect the talking to come, conversations really come out of these. Breath of the Wild, 16.34 million.
Same thing.
safe assumption is going to pass Odyssey by the next quarter.
Which I'm honestly surprised about.
Yeah.
Well,
when you hear Breath of the Wild being like called the best game ever a lot.
It's not untrue, really.
Yeah. Now, Pokemon Sword and Shield, 16.06 million in a month and a half.
1 fucking month. It basically did what Smash has already done.
Yeah.
In like a year in 1 month.
So hiding under the stairs, right?
Yeah, I really think I really just botched this.
These numbers are insane.
It's ridiculous.
Even by Pokemon
I was
standards.
interested. I looked at like every other Nintendo console, and it is almost always Mario Kart on top, Pokemon right below sales wise. Yeah. Do you think Sword and Shield could top? I mean, it did 16 in a month. I mean, I still think Mario Kart's going to be on top.
No, Mario Kart 8 is, unless something crazy, unless Animal Crossing becomes the biggest hit ever.
Yeah.
No, I expected that, Mario Kart 8 to safely just be at the top. Because it sold like 4 million this quarter. So, I'm not expecting that to be surpassed anytime soon. But as far as Sword and Shield
will probably be number 2, though.
Yes. A couple of reasons why I think, this is just continue to sell. And past most Pokemon games, except for maybe Red and Blue. And, be safely number 2. Because it's doing all this, it's doing more than it's already sold lifetime more than most Pokemon games, especially the newer ones. And why I think it's going to continue selling is it's doing the DLC, so it's not cutting its legs by releasing a third version.
Yeah.
So these numbers will keep on going for at least another year.
Yeah.
So crazy. Speaking of Pokemon Let's Go, 11.76.
I'm gonna go ahead and say Under the Stairs because it's Pokemon, and the amount if you you'll hear people say revisionist history now say, oh, well, of course, it's this side
it's a
game.
spin-off.
Yeah, it was never going to do that. Leading up to that game, those same people that are saying that were talking about how this is going to be the system seller. It's the freaking Pokemon.
It might be the best one selling game.
Yeah,
or one of them.
And I did too. I'm not trying to say that I'm free of this. I'm not trying to go back and act like I wasn't. I thought this game was going to be instant top selling Switch game as well, but the side project of it was obviously seen through enough, Yeah. I mean, not the 11 million is still a ton. It's just it's Pokemon.
They made money.
It's Pokemon.
Splatoon 2, 9.81 million, almost 10.
Very nice.
Yeah, shining. Yeah,
shimmering.
Yep. Super Mario Party, 9.12.
It's in the sun. It lives in the sun now.
Considering what was probably the budget of this game, it is a full $60 game and sold this much.
And it's an incomplete game.
Yeah.
It is an incomplete game. I like it, but it is an incomplete game. But yeah, it is crazy. It's crazy that I remember when we were I remember writing the Twinfinite story about it crossing 1 million. And I was like, oh yeah, good for it. Yeah, it's good. Whatever. And I think it's just, and I think it actually did take for it being 9 million, I think it took a surprisingly long amount of time to get to 1 million. I think it was at least a month and a half or something out from it or whatever. So it's obviously just kept selling and selling and selling.
Yep. New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, 5.85 million.
I can't. 2D Mario, it'll probably end up selling 30
I'm going to say
million.
TV. They probably expected this.
Yeah. There's nothing surprising about it.
Yeah. Luigi's Mansion 3, 5.37.
Hot damn, shining,
baby.
Shining. Luigi.
Crazy sales for a great game, and I think this game is gonna have decent legs.
Hats off to that team. I know it wasn't kind of a third party or it's a side team or whatever.
Yeah,
and they proved that that was a wise choice for Nintendo. Nintendo didn't
Mm-hmm.
They're probably gonna get to make more.
Probably, with these numbers. And I think it's continuing to sell. Super Mario Maker 2, baby, at 5.0.
Under the damn stairs. Under the Stairs. This is another one. Don't let anyone tell you that they expected this too, because everyone expected more.
I think it's still below Mario Maker 1.
That's it, and it's insane because it's an objectively better game. They did not market this
and
game.
The fact that Switch games in like almost every other case has sold better, like usually best in series or something. But Mario Maker 2 has not been that case.
Well, and that's it's a problem. Like Super Mario Party is not the best Mario Party, but it's selling a ton. It's selling more and more and more. Even there's a lot of examples of that. It's like, I mean, Mario Maker 2 was a good enough game to be worthy of having its explosion success like Breath of the Wild and Mario and all these other ones did. No, it's pretty crazy how, like, I don't know. It's a very big underperforming for me. Like, that should be up there at the top.
Yeah, sad. Link's Awakening, 4.19, baby.
Is that seeing it on TV?
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely good, but it's a Link game. It was a Legend of Zelda game. Like
it is a 2D one, though. It don't always have the best sales. I just see it surpassed Link Between Worlds, I believe.
Nice.
So, really good game, good sales. Yeah. Probably got a good Breath of the Wild bump.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be one of those things where, they still make the 2D ones. They're obviously going to be lower budget. They still sell really well, still multiple millions, but obviously will pale to 3D Zeldas.
Yeah.
It's usually the reverse. Like Zelda and Mario are the reverse, where the 2D ones for Mario usually sell the best. And for Zelda, I feel like the 3D ones do.
Yeah. 3D Revolution.
Yep. Fire Emblem Three Houses, 2.58. I say TV.
Yeah, I could have seen it being under though, especially on the Switch and everything. But yeah, I'd agree. Like, and honestly, with the way the game is talked about, I wouldn't have been surprised if it was more. Like, it's a little under what it sounds like it is when you just hear people talking about the game.
Yeah, we're just in their light bubble to where we're
gaming circles.
Yeah,
and this is even more evidence that, like I said, if we don't get a new Pokemon game, it's pretty clear that it's like Sakurai's influence.
You mean Pokemon character?
Yeah, if we don't get a new Pokemon character in Smash, Sakurai's influence has a big deal, because this is a game that sold 2.5 million versus 16 million in 1 month. Like, they're not even comparable franchises as far as if Nintendo's like promoting their games.
Yeah,
not even close to the same level.
Yep.
But Shining in the Sun,
Ring Fit Adventure, 2.17 million. I say this is shining.
This could have completely bombed. We could have just forgot this came out, and it could.
Darby, part of me kind of wants to get this game, partly because I need to work out, and this just looks fun.
Yeah, play more Beat Saber. Beat Saber's fun.
That too. That gives me my workout.
You gotta challenge me on my expert now. I can do expert in almost every song now. You gotta come at me, come at my throne, bro.
Okay.
But then there's some songs I still can barely do on hard.
Are we going to get Ring Fit Adventure in Smash?
I'm down. I'd rather that than Byleth.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen for this past...
Remove Byleth and put it in Ring Fit Adventure, man.
Because Sakurai is very wary of putting in new IPs. Like, people looked at it. There's only been like 4 new Nintendo IPs that have been like 21st century new Nintendo IPs.
Splatoon...
Wii Fit, Pikmin, Xenoblade.
Wow.
There may be one other one I'm forgetting.
To be fair, there are very few new Nintendo IPs.
Yeah.
To be fair.
I mean, there are actually a decent number of them. They just don't always succeed as much or whatever.
I'm trying to think of any other ones aside from ARMS. What other like new Nintendo IP is there?
Chibi Robo was this since,
Okay, yeah, I guess.
And other stuff. I mean, it's a bunch of smaller stuff, and they have tried some other things, but not too many. Like, and Golden Sun and stuff like that.
The Golden Sun was... When was Golden Sun?
Early-ish, mid-2000s.
Oh, I thought it was older than that.
No, it was a Game Boy game. Game Boy Advance game.
Interesting.
Yep.
Well, yeah, none of those were like big enough to really get in anyway. I mean, they could have gotten in.
I mean, I think you make the argument that they could have or should have when
they could have because Duck Hunt's in the damn game. I mean,
and Xenoblade made it in at the time. And Xenoblade was definitely not a sales show.
I mean, I shouldn't say like it's Smash. The rules like they'll put in games that doesn't matter as much.
Astral Chain, 1.03 million. I say this is really well. Maybe I don't want to say
I will say
shining necessarily.
Yeah, I will say not shining because of how much they promoted this game. Like I think they were hoping for a big hit, and I think they got a pretty big hit. Yeah. I mean, I'm impressed with that.
Yeah.
I don't know if they are impressed with that.
Platinum is.
But yeah, I don't know if Nintendo's impressed with that. I don't know if Nintendo is super jazzed that they like gave them that much E3 space now. Like in hindsight, and like all these other directs and everything else. Like I don't know how jazzed they are about that. I mean, I don't think it's bad either, but maybe hoping for a little bit more. All right, but let's move on. Let's get on with the show.
Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, 1.02 million. TV, I guess, maybe. Or depending who you ask.
Yeah, TV. You could even talk me into Under the Stairs because it is the Marvel thing. But
it's an obvious low budget
game,
thing.
So I think it was just right. Yeah. I think that's TV.
Switch is
our like terminology is so weird, but I love it. Yeah.
Switch has probably outsold Xbox One at this point based on what people are predicting Xbox One's numbers are, because they don't give numbers. The Switch has also done what it's done in 34 months. Xbox One 74, so a little over double. Switch is out. Yeah, we mentioned outpacing PS4 in the same time frame.
Yep.
Nintendo had, I think, something like a historic quarter.
Had a what?
Historic quarter.
Yeah, they said like 10 million Switches in the one quarter.
Yeah, like. All right, and I think they bumped up their expectations for the Switch this fiscal year. From 18 million to closer to 20 million or something. I think I saw that.
It's wild.
Switch doing good.
Pokemon
definitely up.
Yeah, all 10 million. It's only 6 million people bought Pokemon who already had a Switch. Yeah. The other 10 million all bought Switches.
I am going to be fascinated with Animal Crossing numbers.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, it's been so long, it's kind of hard to predict.
Yeah, but it's also a thing of besides Mario Maker 2, which is the outlier for this. Like I said, most of the franchises that are on the Switch, like get a new game on the Switch, outsell their predecessors and breaking records.
Yeah, but New Leaf sold a lot, and it's
like 11 million. Animal Crossing is going to beat that.
Probably.
I'd be a little kind of surprised if it didn't.
Yeah. You probably right.
Isabelle too powerful.
She is too powerful. Everyone's running away. Everyone's getting the hell out.
Except for Doom Guy.
Like I said, they're the power couple. Yeah. Doomslayer and Isabelle. The gaming's the best power couple. It is known. All right, Jeffrey. Well, you want to try to do some outlandish, on the fly by the seat of our pants, maybe real quick predictions for these 6 characters so you'll look like a goddamn superhero and genius in the future?
Always.
All right.
By the way, he's talking about Smash.
He is talking about Smash. We are going to predict what the 6 fighters in this Fighters Pass 2 for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is going to be. Each of us are going to predict it. I have not really thought about this too much in advance, and neither really has
He
Jeff.
just sprung
it on him. So it's going to be really just loosey-goosey. We're just going to throw them all right on out there, you know? So let's go. Bless you. So let us begin. I will go first. I will shoot my shot immediately. Crash Bandicoot's coming in this game, Joe. I think I don't feel 100% great about it because there's definitely some things that have to happen.
I'm not going to be 100% great about any of these characters.
Of course not. This is like I'm probably not going to get any of these right. But obviously there's like some agreements have to happen, a lot of things have to go down, and like Nintendo has to be interested in doing this. there's a lot of things that like could not end up going right. But I think with some of the characters that we've already seen get in and Banjo, all these other ones, like I do think that it's definitely a possibility. And it's another one of those when Sakurai just talks about representation in Smash, this would be like another like just jewel in there. You know, it'd be like the holy grail of like Mario versus Sonic versus Crash, and then like all these other ones.
Possibly another twist of the knife where it gets PlayStation All-Stars.
Yeah, that'd be like the biggest one because Crash was like the biggest, and Crash is the biggest like glaring miss for the fact that like Crash was in like Sony. He was a Sony mascot, you know.
Yeah.
I think it could definitely happen. You have one you want to throw out? And you can also predict the same ones as me, for some of them.
Or at least start out trying to do different. I mean, this is an obvious one. I think like a Pokemon is obvious.
But you gotta say which one.
Oh, God.
We're predicting the actual character. I mean, just say Pokemon is easy as fuck. You gotta predict which one. Because I am also going to be predicting a Pokemon. For sure.
Let's see. I feel like what they're gonna do. They're not gonna branch out from starters. So I'm gonna get Rillaboom.
Is that the fire one?
That's Bradford.
Oh man, I would hope so. That would be dope.
For multiple reasons. I think potentially, the starters are the obvious ones. Some people might find that boring, and I could agree to a point. But they are always among the most popular. They usually make sense for a fighting game. And, being interesting in that. And I think Rillaboom in particular potentially might be the choice.
Cool, big, heavy character.
Yeah, be a big, heavy character. And I feel like he has the most potential to be at least a little different from the other Pokemon we got in there. And I don't know if this would be something he would consider, but discounting Pokemon Trainer, take him out of the equation.
Yeah.
With Charizard and all that. Then we would have fully evolved starters for each of the three types.
Yeah.
Because we got a fire, we got a water.
And even when I compare the three starters, I mean, I honestly haven't even seen the fire one very much. I just saw like one picture of them. But at least with Bradford or Rillaboom, that's the first time I've seen Rillaboom, the name. But he could definitely have some cool, like the drum thing or whatever, and that move with like the tentacles. Like, what if he had a long range move where it goes in the ground and comes back out and slaps them and stuff? That could be. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely think and Sakurai even talked about with Incineroar. Part of why he did Incineroar is because he could easily see how he could do a cool move set with the wrestler thing. Yeah, but it also helps that
the Pokemon I would rather have is Toxtricity, which is Xena.
Oh, yeah, that'd be cool.
To have a punk rock electric poison moveset.
Oh, fuck yeah. Yeah, dude. I mean, I would rather them go outside of the starters. But
that's just the obvious one. A lot of people also predict for Pokemon Urshifu, which is the karate bear.
The new one they just
potentially to coincide with them. Like, I feel like if they're going to do a Pokemon, they're going to go with one people already are more in tune with.
Yeah. Yeah, sadly with Pokemon, I'm not even aware of enough of like whenever we see Pokemon in Nuzlocke, I honestly God don't know which ones are new and which ones are not because they're all new to me. So like, I can't really branch out too much. Rillaboom honestly does make the most sense. I think he's just probably not the most popular, so I don't know. But that might not matter.
Well, the way they pick Pokemon is either it's like Pikachu, obviously the mascot or whatever. The starters, which is Greninja, Incineroar, all a Pokemon trainer, and then there's Mewtwo. And Jigglypuff was pretty much a mascot, so throw her in there. The same thing with Pikachu, like when Jigglypuff was added on. And then you have Mewtwo and Lucario, which are kind of humanoid-esque Pokemon that they push heavily. Yeah, they're not really the equivalents to Lucario and Mewtwo in Gen 8 as of right now. Mm-hmm. So that's why I'm not, I can't really think of anyone besides potentially the starters because the box legendaries don't make sense. As far as, we don't have a 4-legged fighter really. We have like Ivysaur and stuff, but not like a big one, not like a big giant wolf thing.
I think they could make it work.
They could probably make it work, but I don't think they're gonna pick one of the over the other. I don't think that's like. I feel like them would be one of the.
I'm yet to see them in action or anything.
I feel like that make people the least happy picking one of those two. Because people don't generally care for them, as far as I can tell. I just don't think they're gonna pick one of them.
Yeah, I would think that like I was gonna go with one of the other 2 starters, but like the more I think about like moveset wise, it just doesn't. And the fire one would be so fucking boring to do that again.
That's the closest we can get to the Fire Emblem thing. It's like, okay, more of the Pokemon, and you're picking another fire starter.
We're gonna do Byleth and the fire starter.
Yeah.
Fuck you. That's like,
Yeah.
And then I thought Inteleon, but I don't know if that moveset would be. I'm going Rillaboom because you kind of told me. I know that's boring, but I don't know. I don't know what Inteleon's moveset would be.
Like, it's even Inteleon's signature move, the snipe shot, is just kind of squirting water out of its finger
guns.
Yeah. It's just cool, but I mean, I think you do a lot of creative things, a lot of Pokemon moves, so you can go crazy with it. But
yeah. I think I'm ready to fire away with another one though.
Okay, go for it.
I'm committing. I'm going for Monster Hunter.
Go ahead, Monster Hunter.
I'm going for Monster Hunter. I think we're going to have the full weapon change thing. This makes sense with Nintendo. They're already chosen right now. And obviously Monster Hunter is huge. It's hot as hell. And I think if they were choosing these like kind of later in the year, last year, I think it makes sense to go for Monster Hunter and everything. It's weird that there's a Monster Hunter stage already in there and Monster Hunter hasn't been the character, so that's probably evidence against it potentially, because they've obviously had access to Monster Hunter. They put Rathalos in there and all that. That could just be all the representation we get. But I don't know. I think there's a chance.
I'm going to stick with Capcom for my next pick. I'm going Dante.
All right.
So
redemption.
Yeah. So potentially Dante. I feel like there's a decent chance of a Capcom character.
Yeah.
In this game, because they obviously had to talk with them somewhat recently for those Resident Evil spirits.
Yeah.
So and the timing kind of makes sense as far as discussing this character and all that. And kind of do that. Maybe put the spirits out there to make them forget about Resident Evil and not get their hopes up any longer and all that. But why potentially Dante over any other one? As far as like Monster Hunter stuff, I agree with what you were saying. Like Monster, and it would not surprise me at all. It was Monster Hunter. You could ask me tomorrow which Capcom rep I'd be. I could say Monster Hunter. Yeah, but the whole Rathalos thing kind of is a thing where it's kind of a strike against Monster Hunter, in my opinion. And this whole thing, if they didn't have time to add Monster Hunter in, like they were potentially wanting to, but then it's like they didn't have time, so they had Rathalos and stuff for now. They weren't in the first DLC pack.
Yeah, that does make a ton of sense.
That could also be a cross against having characters in general, but I'm thinking potentially with Dante has a crazy moveset that could be appealing to Sakurai to make. Dante
you can make him a dope character.
Potentially for Dante is that he is an actual character.
And also, Sakurai is obviously obsessed with music.
Yes.
And man, being able to play with that Devil May Cry soundtrack.
And potentially this could, because we're getting all the Devil May Cry games, now they're releasing them steadily on Switch and all that. And I could see Sakurai, especially depending on how much say he has in this character pack, him being like revitalized and really wanting Dante after Devil May Cry 5.
Yeah. I agree. No. Honestly, like you said, I could be sold on either one of these. Like,
yeah. And I'm not just saying Dante because
I don't even know
fake leak thing.
Yeah. I would rather Dante obviously could have a Devil May Cry history, but I do think a Monster Hunter thing could be awesome.
But we got Byleth.
Using all those different... so much more fun than Byleth. Regardless of moveset, so much more fun.
Yeah.
I'm going to get a boring one out of the way that I'm sure you're going to also have, but these are predictions, so I'm trying to get it right. Rex from Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
I've been seeing some arguments against Rex, which are kind of convincing.
I mean, I was talking to you about before about how
they did a recent thing.
So
some arguments potentially against Rex is the whole timing aspect, because you kind of look back at, for some Nintendo, like some of these characters, timing was everything. Like Lucina and Robin, in Smash 4. Sakurai pretty much said if they came out much sooner or much later, they wouldn't have been in the game. And just you see stuff like that, and as much as I hate it and I want Rex, I mean, I might still add Rex later. I'll ponder it. Just seeing.
I might take Rex off. We'll see. It'll have a little bit of revision.
But with Rex, the whole timing thing, he was obviously too late for the main game. But I think Byleth partly what I'm about to say. Byleth, I think. This part made me think this. I think Rex was also too early for DLC. Came out too early for DLC. He was at literally the worst time to come in as a character, like when his game released. Yeah. Because here's the thing, especially like,
I mean, obviously,
they added fucking Byleth. So as far as the timing and stuff goes, obviously Rex was not too late or too late for the DLC.
They obviously don't value Rex enough to be a DLC character. I mean, I think they wanted them to put in the base game that people don't have to pay extra for, but it's pretty clear that they don't think Rex is like a good enough character to be put to pay money for. Because if he was about to be in the game, they could have just put him in the DLC. Yeah, they've released characters since then. That whole.
But to go against my argument here, the reason why Rex could be in is because the first pass, primarily third-party characters, except for Byleth. Byleth, though, from a timing perspective, made sense as far as an advertising character when Rex was obviously too late. They could still see how much people like. Rex is a pretty wanted character, probably one of the most wanted like Nintendo characters at the moment, I would say.
Yeah,
but definitely up there. So potentially, especially since Sakurai is a big fan of Xenoblade in 2, that they're like, yo, we're putting this in. Yeah, potentially.
All right, you want to start putting some on here, Jeff?
Let me think. Trying to think, Darby.
Don't think too much.
Don't think too much.
Don't think too much.
Don't think too much. Okay, so
these are just wild predictions.
Wild predictions.
Or just, quick predictions without much thought.
Quick predictions.
What does your heart say?
What does my heart say?
What's this voice? Cease this.
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to at least think and come up with something that's not completely dumb.
Yeah.
Is the main thing. So, Dari,
I maybe should have planned this out a little bit before, but whatever, we go.
So, Darby, I'm thinking as far as first-party characters go, because we've talked about this before, maybe not necessarily in here. We kind of agree that it's probably going to be like a 3-3/4-2 in one direction split as far as first and third party. And I try to think what first-party characters could be added. Pokemon one's obvious.
Getting hard to predict at this point.
Yeah, especially now that they're trying to sell, passes and stuff. It's probably they got to be thinking about that. I'm thinking a Mario character is potentially likely. As boring as that is, like they add Nintendo characters, but it's the 3 franchises that already have the most reps.
Yeah, I think we might have the same one. We've talked about it before.
Yeah, I'm thinking Paper Mario.
I am also thinking Paper Mario.
But I'm also stuck that they might finally listen to the people and put in Waluigi.
I don't think they will. I really don't.
I don't think. If we were to get an Ultimate 2, definitely. But the fact that the next one's probably going to be a reboot means Waluigi chances are dead.
Yeah, I just really don't think. I really don't think they will. I mean, it's definitely not out of their own possibility. And the assist trophy definitely doesn't mean it's not going to. You still see Chrom is still in Robin's final smash. Like,
that's a very unique and weird situation. But as far as like Paper Mario getting in, there's all these rumors about a new Paper Mario game going back to the roots this year. So as far as potential, kind of a marketing character, which obviously a lot of Smash characters are in a way. Some are more than others, obviously, with the Corn and Byleth. or their biggest examples of just straight out marketing. But with Paper Mario, it is from the Mario series, so that is something to be said. It is an actual rep from a unique rep from a spin-off, which is an own spin-off, which is its own series.
Yeah.
And it's still Mario, and they can make a completely unique move set. And what makes me potentially more excited about this potential thing is with all the love and care that's being put in these individual DLC characters, that I feel like he get Paper Mario. I feel better about them doing Paper Mario right compared to any other time they would add them in.
Yeah.
I think they would any other time, but I think now it'd be crazy.
I agree. It could be very, very cool, especially for there's not too many first parties left that like would have me like, oh, that's really cool,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm stuck on this last one, but you gotta catch up. You gotta start throwing some on here.
I feel like I had one, but I had a brain fart.
I really don't think. I think on Nintendo's side they would absolutely love to, but I don't think there's any chance of Sora because of Disney. Yeah, I think that hurdle is just too much to climb, and I don't know if Sakurai would. I don't know if they would put Sora in with like just no Disney references at all. Like I don't think they would. If that was the condition, I think they would say no.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could have just the original Kingdom Hearts music and just have some Kingdom Hearts attacks, but it would feel a little lesser than it's supposed to, if it was just devoid of any Disney reference.
Trying to think.
And I think that hurdle is too big. If it wasn't for that, I do think that Sora would be like very, very high on the chances, but I don't think it's going to happen.
I'm trying to think. I feel like Bamco is due for a rep.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think who it would be.
You know who it's going to be?
Who?
I don't know which one. Some Dark Souls. Could be Solaire.
They probably just go with the nameless undead people, like that playable character thing.
Yeah. I don't know, but throw some on here, Jeff. I have one to go. You can use the ones that I've already used.
Yeah. Okay, let me think. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I believe in Tails. We're getting Lord Irving.
All right.
Because
is he the one from Symphonia?
Yes. That is the obvious one to represent Tails for Nintendo.
Yeah.
It's just obvious. Yeah. And I think Sakurai believes as much by making it the Mii costume. We have not seen that Mii costume yet. We also haven't seen most of Bamco's Mii costume yet. So that's why people are thinking the Bamco character might be coming. Also the fact that they have won and they made the game. So, yeah.
You know what? Part of me wants to say, like, screw it and go, like, Chrono. We're going Legacy.
trying to think. So, yeah. You got a couple Legacy characters, so I was probably thinking of that, but it's kind of partly what Lloyd is.
Wait, what? Yeah, I know, yeah, definitely. And Chrono would be a third Square character.
Let's see. What else do I think could happen?
Sega character. I guess we have two of them now.
We have three.
Bayonetta too.
Bayonetta.
Yeah. We do have three indeed.
Indeed. Just going to. Oh wait. Okay. I think I. That's what I was thinking of earlier. I am going to go a ballsy prediction.
Please do.
It goes against a lot of things that happened, Darby.
Please do.
So, Darby, we know in the Legend of Zelda franchise, in the representation in Smash, that all the playable characters are either Link, Zelda, or Ganondorf.
Yes.
That's going to continue.
Okay.
Because we are going to get Breath of the Wild Zelda as her own playable character based on
there's no skin for her. There's no skin for her in this Zelda, is there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because Sakurai said specifically he didn't do that one because after playing the game, she wasn't really much of a fighter necessarily. But I believe that will change with Breath of the Wild 2.
And these are going up, like, she could be a late one. She could be one into next year.
We know he gets to play shit early.
Yeah, he would have to, like, they would have had to, like, tell him this early. He's obviously not really playing this probably yet, but I like it. It is ballsy, but I like it. I definitely like it.
For the last one, we'll see. I feel like it's got to be. Like, my easy thing is I kept on saying Rex. It'd be kind of weird if you put him and I didn't.
It would be weird.
But, let's see.
Part of me wants to take out Dark Souls and put in Chrono just because I want Chrono to happen. That would be
Do
cool.
it, yeah, though.
Then it's going to be a Dark Souls character.
Yeah, probably.
All right, fuck it. We going for the hype. We replacing Dark Souls with Chrono. We have Dragon Quest and Chrono Trigger.
Yeah.
And Final Fantasy.
Part of me thinks my list is not as much the big pop characters, but
that's fine. We trying to win, Jeff.
Trying to win
pride.
Trying to win pride.
All right, who's that last one? Let's get out of here, Jeffrey.
Okay. You know what? I'm going Rex.
All right.
Going 4-2. They're going to be more first party characters in this one.
It's weird. I went 4-2 third party. You went 4-2.
Wait.
Or did you? Yeah, you did.
No. You're 3-3.
Am I 3-3?
Rillaboom, Rex, and Paper Mario.
Oh, yeah. I am 3-3. I am 3-3. And you are 4-2 for the first party. So, Jeff, read yours.
I got Rillaboom, Dante from the Devil May Cry series. Paper Mario from the Paper Mario series. Lord Irving.
Paper Mario from the Devil May Cry series.
Lord Irving from Tales of Symphonia from the Tales of series.
I'm Lloyd Irving.
Breath of the Wild Zelda is my more crazy out there pick. And Rex.
Mine is Crash Bandicoot, Rillaboom, the Monster Hunter, Rex, Paper Mario, and fucking Chrono.
Let's go. People will definitely be more happy with your list than mine.
Yeah, which would be yours is probably way more likely. All right, well, thank you guys so much for joining us. Go check out that trailer reaction or breakdown I did, and watch Pokemon Nuzlocke, and be a good person. Goodbye. Bye. Go shine in the sun.